Hi, I'd like to welcome you back to Tea with Tammy. I have a cup of tea here ready to go. What do I have today? I have Lipton green tea, decaffeinated honey lime chamomile. It is one of my favorites. Today we're going to be talking about alcohol inks. I've been doing a few classes for libraries lately in supplying kits that they can get started with a little introduction of alcohol inks. And we've been talking about doing flowers like this. Just kind of a simple blowout flower that you can make into a card or you can make into a little piece of artwork if you'd like to hang something. So the first couple of things I want to talk about is the smell. If the smell of alcohol bothers you, wear a mask. It's going to have a little bit of a smell because we're working with this small 4x6 substrate. We're not going to get a lot of scent with this, but if you work in any kind of a larger piece, you will definitely have that alcohol smell, and it does bother some people. So, work in a well ventilated area, but don't use any fans. You don't want that alcohol blowing all over the place. And I do want to talk just for a second about the alcohol inks today that I'm using are by Ranger. And they are dye based, but for the most part, they are not light fast. So, what that means is if you want to do this as a piece of artwork, like here is, a canvas that we made this on, then you're going to want to spray it with a sealant. I like to use Krylon Kamar varnish, 3 coats of that, let them dry in between, and then top it with a Krylon UV resistance clear, and that'll kind of just seal it and to make the inks a little more permanent. So that's how you do it on a canvas board like that. Now, talking about canvas board, the other thing that's really important is when you use alcohol inks with alcohol, you do need a non-porous surface. So a ceramic tile, glass, metal, Yupo paper. This is a synthetic plastic paper. Actually, this coffee mug that I have that's a white porcelain, I could use my alcohol inks on that and it would come out beautiful. But you would have to seal that again. And I would not put it where you drink, and it would no longer be dishwasher safe, just to throw that out there. If you do larger projects, I definitely recommend you wear gloves. I'm not going to wear gloves today because we're just doing this small little project. And make sure you protect your table. I have a piece of wax paper down on my white table, so you can't really see the table, but I do have a piece of wax paper down. Then to blow the inks, I am going to be using the straw. So you can use, compressed air that you blow the dust out of your keyboard with. You could use an actual air compressor to blow air. You could use just like a little squirty thing, nasal thing that you used on kids when you were young. Ranger Tim Holtz has a special kind of black thing that you pump that you can blow the air. If you want to use a heat gun, I would say no, it's just a little too hot unless you're working on ceramic tile or glass. But on this synthetic paper, it would warp it. And so that would not be the best thing to do. What else do I want to tell you? You could also work on a heat-resistant craft mat, one that you would put in the oven, or freezer paper. So that works good. I'll just briefly mention this paper that I'm using today is called Yupo paper. It is sold by Legion, and it comes in an opaque white or a transparent paper. I've tried the transparent paper, and I did a flower. It came out beautiful. I'm just not sure how I'm going to mount that. So that's going to be more of an experiment that we'll maybe talk about in the future. Okay, so let's get started. So this was one of the flowers that I wanted to show you. This was another one in the same color family. And to do the centers, sometimes I just take a Sharpie marker to make that black, because when you put alcohol ink on top of another color of alcohol ink, they kind of mix and blend depending on the color. So I just did that with a white gel pen to get those little dots in there. Maybe I'll do just a separate little video of that. This one I started with this light green and it just looked a little pale to me. So then I added this pink on top of it and it kind of turned into this purpley grayish blue color. So it didn't really turn brown or anything, which I like, but I really like the way that turned out. And then if you want to do more of a side view, somebody told me they couldn't work with the green color that they had in their kit. So I made a green flower to show that you can. And then here is some orange and yellow and a flower too. So I do like to do them offset a little bit and just kind of have them flowing off the page. I think that's kind of fun. And then the other thing is if you want to just do, this is actually just one color, just kind of variegated from light to dark. And then I just took a black micron pen and I think this is my white gel pen and just kind of doodled on top of it. It's a very relaxing, fun thing to do also. So I don't think that's done yet. It's a work in progress. Okay, so I'm going to grab a plain piece of white here and we're just going to get started. So let's see, the colors I have here today, like I mentioned, are both by Ranger Tim Holtz inks, alcohol inks. This one is called Wild Plum. It is a very vibrant color, as you can see. But the other color I have here is Pool, which is a very pale blue. Now when I do these flowers, I do like to follow the idea that you lay down the center of the flower first and let it dry. If it spreads too much, I'll go ahead and take my straw and blow around the edges just to help it dry and set up. And when I blow, you never want to blow into the center of the flower because then it'll just spread out. You always want to blow from the outside kind of in to keep it contained. And you don't want to really blow hard. I'd rather do softer, lighter blows to control the ink a little better. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, another little tip I have is I like to use these bendy straws, and then the bend part I always put by my mouth, so I'm not touching this part just in case I get it dirty or something. I like to put my alcohol into a needle nose container like this. I think it's easier to control. And then what I'll usually do is I just go around and make like a half circle around the edge of the color I've laid down. And then this I blow from the inside out because I want these edges to kind of fade. Oh, I already got a drip. Now I don't know if you can hear that, but I didn't even blow it in one swoop. I went so little swoops. The other thing you got to watch out with the straw is that your saliva doesn't come out this end. So it's good to have a little paper towel handy so you can kind of blot the end of the straw a little bit. Of course, I don't have my paper towel handy, but so the idea is that it's a graduated color. It's much darker near the center of the flower, and then it gets lighter as it moves out. And after doing a few of these classes, I just want you to know if this is your first time working with alcohol inks, it takes practice to do it. It's just not really a 1-2 kind of thing. And so that one, I don't know, either I waited too long or whatever because I was talking, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep going. Make sure I'm in the screen here. I think I'm going to move these over a little bit. I'm going to keep working my way around this with these petals until I like what I see. And if I don't like it, I'm going to add another drop of alcohol. Once everything is dry, I'm going to add it to the center and just start all over again. But you can see, once I drop that alcohol and I start blowing, you can see how it makes that vein-like look that's in all your petals. And that's really what you're looking for. I try and keep my straw closer to the center when I begin to blow until I want that fade. And then once I want that fade and it's not that much color, I'll move my straw out to follow it. Of course, I just dripped a little spit right there. I'm going to grab my paper towel here, which I didn't have handy yet, and just do a quick blot before I keep going. So alcohol and water don't mix, so you don't want a lot of your spit hanging out there with the alcohol because it'll mess things up. And like I said, if there's something you don't like, you just go over it again. And I don't worry about the center of my flower until the end. Like I know these, look nice and beautiful and round. So it looked like this to begin with. Sorry, it looked like this. And then I just added another drop on top of it and let it dry, and then added that black in there and gave it a little bit of dimension where the shadowed side is. So I'm going to actually add this pool color right now. It's a very pale color, so I'm not sure how much different it's going to be. And I might get a very purple colored flower, which I'm good with. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put a drop in the center. I'm going to blow it dry. Some colors spread a lot more than others. So you want to know what your colors do so you can figure out how to control them. So that looks pretty good there. And if you excuse me 1 second, I'm going to just have a sip of my tea while it's still nice and hot. Yeah, it's snowing today and it's a crummy day, so I'm glad I'm inside doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this drop in between those two petals. So you see that blue combined with the pink, but the pink was so strong, it really still looks very pink. It might have just a tinge of purple in there, but I would say it's still almost like the same tone of pink. So I might have to go around a couple times to get this to look right. And that's okay. I'm good with that. I like that one, looked like it folded over a little bit right there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep that, but we'll try. Sometimes you get like a piece that runs away from you. Sometimes I like to call them fingers like that. So if you take a little Q-tip, this one is a fine point Q-tip that I put in the kits. Sometimes you can go ahead and just erase the little tendrils that stick out if you don't like the way they look. I don't like that one that much either. So some of the colors do stain the paper, so it's much more difficult to get it back to white. But there's a couple papers like the Nara paper or Duralar. They almost go right back to white. Or if you want to use a ceramic tile, that goes back to the white of the tile. So that one didn't go very far. I'm going to try it one more time. Much better. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to blot the end up because I don't want it to go all that way out there. So I think I like this right now. So I'm going to blot up any excess alcohol or saliva. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to move this out of my way. I think I am going to do one more drip of this wild rose in the center. And I'm going to be ready with my straw to dry it because I don't want it to get too far out of control. But if it does, like it is, that's okay. Well, not too bad. Yeah, if you're using a straw, you really got to be ready. But I'm okay with that, I think. I think I like that kind of a center look there. So I'm going to let that completely dry. And then I'm just going to grab a Sharpie or a Micron pen. I don't know where mine is at the moment, and all you do is just start dotting and then you add your gel pen, okay? So that's a quick tutorial about how I make my flowers, and like I said, I'll mount this on a piece of black. I will not usually add a sentiment because I feel like a lot of people that I give these cards to like to display it as a piece of art, but then I'll add it on a folded card and write my sentiment inside, and you can have a birthday card, a sympathy card, a thinking of you card, and people really like the homemade look to it. So let me know how you like this video, and if you'd like to see more on what you can do with alcohol inks or even more tips on the flowers, just let me know in the comments, and you can subscribe to my newsletter on tammyhayman.com if you'd like to get more information about my work. Thanks, and we'll see you soon. Bye.